Okay, so we're looking at another factorising technique. The last one was common term, but we'll just start off with a reminder about common term factorising. So if I've got 2x plus 4y, that's my question. We write out the factors, we circle the common factor, write the common factor at the front, and then leave behind whatever's left behind. But now there's a slight variation in that it looks like it's a lot harder, but in this first example it's not. So if you got this question that I've written here, and if you look up here when I circled the 2's, that's the common factor. But now what I do is I circle the bracket because that's the common factor. Okay, so that means out the front, instead of having a 2, we have a bracket, a plus b, and then in the second bracket we leave what's left. Like up here, we left x plus 2y, and now we leave 2 plus 3c. Okay, so that's just another, it's a sort of common term, but the common term is a bracket. Okay, so that's straightforward. So copy that down, and then we'll look at questions that lead to a bracket being a common. Okay, copy that down, and when you're ready, come to the next slide. Okay, so we're looking at factorising by grouping in pairs. So this is common term factorising, but basically we do it twice. So here's an example. And in the first step, all I've done is I have written out the factors of xy, the factors of 2x, the factors of 2y, and the factors of 4. So what you want to do is I want you to look at them rather than as a group of 4 or a group of 3 like we had to in the last lesson. Just look at them as a pair. Okay? So rather than looking right across, look as a pair. So in the first pair, x and x is common, and the second pair, 2 and 2 is common. So in the first pair, I could write x bracket y plus 2. In the second pair, the common factor is plus 2, and then I leave behind y plus 2. Now you might see why I did the first slide. We now have a bracket and a bracket which are exactly the same, and so you put that out the front, and in the second bracket you leave the x plus 2. And if you expanded that out using your techniques, you can check your answer. But you won't have a lot of time every question to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. Expand it out and you get the right answer. Okay, so copy that down, and when you're ready, come to the next slide. Okay, so here's one I've started for you. Okay, I want you to again group them in pairs. I've written out the factors. I want you to group them in pairs, circle the like terms, and then see if you can get an answer. So pause, circle the like terms, see if you can get a common bracket, and then you should probably finish it off. But have a go yourself. Okay, so we're looking at, for instance, if we look at this, I'm going to rub this out in a sec, but if we look at that as a pair, 5 times p and 2 times 3 times q, there isn't anything in common. There's nothing I can circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this one and this one together, and then I'll put that one and that one as a pair. So you don't have to be, it doesn't have to always be the first 2 terms as a pair. It could be first and third, second and fourth, or it could be first and fourth and second and third. You don't know until you have a go. So 5, p and p, and in the first box I've circled all the terms, so I put down times 1 to leave something behind. In the second pair, I circled 2, and I circled 2, and I've already left the 1 behind, so that was okay. That was smart of me. So in the green boxes, 5p is common, leaving behind 1 plus 3q. And in the second, in the brown boxes, I've got 2 bracket 3q plus 1. Now that, I'll change colours, that and that, even though they're in the opposite order, they're the same things. 1 plus 3q is the same as 3q plus 1, they're the same things, and so that means that I'll take one of them, it doesn't matter which one. 3q plus 1 is common, leaving behind 5p plus 2. So that's a little bit harder because it wasn't first and second and third and fourth, it was first and third, second and fourth. And the other trick was 1 plus 3q and 3q plus 1 are the same. The reason being, if I've got 2 plus 3, that is the same as 3 plus 2. You can add when you have positive and have the same answer. Okay, so copy that down, and we've got one more slide to go. So as always, we'll have one with negative signs. So I've circled, sorry, I haven't circled. I've written the question out. I've included some times ones just in case we need them. And I want you to start off with pairing them first and second, third and fourth, and see how you go. And see if you can get a common bracket. So I'll give you a head start, pause, and then when you're ready, come back. Okay, so we're going to start with that, and I include the minus sign in the brackets because that's important. So I'm going to circle 2 and 2. That's all I can circle. And in the second pair, I'm going to circle the y, and that's all I can circle. So in the first pair, I've got 2 bracket 3x minus 1. Now, I'm going to take out, what I'll do, I'll take out plus 3 to start with. Okay, so rather than taking out the minus, I'm going to take out the plus, which means that I've got, sorry, I shouldn't be taking out the 3, so that's a bad mistake. So I'm going to take out the common term, which is y, but I'll take it out as a plus sign, and so I've got minus 3x because that's what's there, and I've got minus 1. Okay. Okay, so I've just noticed I've got a problem in this question because I didn't write it out properly. That should be a plus sign there, and that should be a plus sign there, and then that will be a plus sign there. So that was my mistake. I copied the question down wrong. Okay, so the point now is these brackets, although they are similar, are not the same. Because you've got a minus sign, you can't have a different order. Like when you add, it's okay, but if I've got 2 minus 3, that doesn't equal 3 minus 2. So you can't change the order, whereas in plussing, 2 plus 3 does equal 3 plus 2. But once you have minus signs, you can't do it. So if you notice, in the brackets, I've got the terms, but I've got them in the wrong order. So what we can do is we don't just cancel it out. So we leave the first bracket as it is, but instead of having a plus y, take out a minus y, and then that changes the signs inside. So instead of taking out a plus number, take out a minus number. And now I've got that and that the same, so that's the common factor, leaving behind 2 minus y. Now this is the one that's going to cause most problems, but there won't be a whole test of these harder ones, but that's how you get the right answer. Okay, so copy that down. It's a little bit harder. There was nothing wrong with that third line, but once we knew the brackets were in the wrong order, then you just switch the signs, plus becomes a minus, and everything comes back together. So when you're ready, that's the exercise to do. So have a crack. I'll be there to help you. Thanks. Bye.